Coq au vin. It sounds really complicated, doesn't it, and fancy? It means chicken at the wine, and it's an easy dish to make. I'll show you. I often think that when people hear the titles of classic French dishes, they get intimidated and feel like they don't know how to do it or couldn't do it, but I'm here to break that myth and mystery for sure. Today we're working on a classic French dish that's super easy to make and absolutely delicious, and uses really inexpensive parts of the chicken. Typically it's made with thighs and legs. I'm only using the legs today. They are really inexpensive and I think really flavorful. Part of this process though is getting it marinated, and that takes about 12 to 24 hours, really depending, but this will go about 20 hours. My chicken here, I want to add about 3 cups of red wine, and this will get wrapped up in the end and go into the refrigerator, and then every few hours you'll just want to go in and stir it around. To that I'm going to add, I'd say 3 big pinches, so about 3 teaspoons of kosher or sea salt. About 2 teaspoons of dried thyme goes in there. Some bay leaves, I'm going to put 2. And about 2 teaspoons of black pepper. And just get in there and kind of move everything around so that the spices and everything get well distributed over the chicken. I have been looking forward to making and eating this dish especially all day. So I'm about to get started. You can see the chicken is out of the refrigerator. It's turned almost purple with the wine. And I pulled out the ingredients that I'm going to need to get prepped. I've got some brandy and flour that'll get added into the pot as it cooks. But to start, I'm going to have to prep some vegetables. The classic recipe calls for mushrooms. I typically use a brown style mushroom, so I've got about 8 to 10 ounces of shiitakes here. And I also found these really cute banapi mushrooms. Any type mushroom is going to work, but with ones like this especially, I cut off the tops because they're so cute, and then chop up the bottom and add that in with the saute. An onion, some celery, that's not typical, but I like the flavor, a carrot, some tomato paste, and bacon or bacon fat. I'm not going to be cooking the bacon first. I'm just going to go straight to using bacon fat, and then just vegetable oil or olive oil as I cook. One way that I add flavor to dishes like this that will have parsley in it at some point, even if it's just for garnish, I don't like to waste the stems, and they are delicious, so I'll chop these up finely and add them in with the aromatics, the onion, the garlic, the celery, and the carrot. It just adds another layer of flavor that's absolutely fantastic. The next part in the process is going to be removing our chicken from the wine mixture and just putting that, I just put it in a colander inside of a bowl so I don't lose any of the marinade that may still be dripping off of it. Then you'll want to get some paper towels, and we just have to dry these pieces very well before we start browning them in the pot. And just make sure you reserve as much of the marinade and whatever drippings there are. This is what we're going to cook the chicken in. So in the pot here over a medium-high heat, I preheated it, and I've added about a tablespoon or so of bacon fat, rendered bacon fat that I had stored in the refrigerator. You could also chop up about 6 slices of bacon and fry that first. Remove the bacon and leave the grease in the pan. To the pot here, I'm going to add enough oil just to cover the bottom so probably 2 to 3 tablespoons. During the cooking process, you may need to replenish that oil. So first I'm going to start by sauteing the mushrooms down in the grease that I just cooked the chicken in. I'm not going to add any salt here until these are well browned. So give them, I would say, 4 to 5 minutes over medium-high heat, stirring occasionally. I typically don't add any salt while I'm sauteing in the beginning to allow the food to actually caramelize. Salt will draw out the moisture and affect that process. We're just going to keep this moving in the pot for a few minutes, incorporating that with the flavors of the mushrooms. So right down here in the bottom of the pot, I'm going to make a little space and add about a tablespoon of tomato paste. And you want to brown that. You don't want a raw tomato paste flavor, so let it sort of have time to touch the bottom before incorporating it. You'll want to incorporate about a tablespoon or 1 large kitchen spoon of just all-purpose flour. Stir that in, and now we want to deglaze. I'm going to use brandy, and I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons. Be careful if you're working over a gas flame. And to this, I'm going to add the reserved wine marinade. And I'm going to let this come up to a boil and let it go for about 5 minutes, reducing by about half. And onto the plate with some parsley, I've got a little bit of green onion, and then some of those reserved mushrooms, the little tops from those little cute baby ones. It looks fantastic. So coq au vin and smashed potatoes, just really delicious comfort food. Falling off the bone. Oh yeah, make it. It's worth the effort, and it feeds a crowd. I mean, these potatoes, I could eat them all night long. That sauce, so good.